Have you ever thought about the science behind falling in love? It's something that feels so magical, almost like fate. But what if there was more to it? What if psychology could actually give us a few clues? Well, today we're going to explore 6 powerful, research-backed secrets that can help you build a deep, real, and lasting romantic connection.
Ugh, that feeling. It's a question that can keep you up all night, can it? You meet someone, you feel that spark, and then you're just not sure. You find yourself replaying every conversation, analyzing every little sign, just hoping they feel that same connection. It's one thing to have a crush, but figuring out how to nurture that into something deeper, something like real love, well, that can feel like a huge mystery. But what if it wasn't? What if there were subtle ways to guide that connection?
Here's the good news. Psychologists have been studying this for decades, and they've actually put together a kind of toolkit for building stronger connections. Now, let's be really clear about something. There's no magic love potion here. We can't make someone fall in love. But what we can do is use these proven techniques to communicate our interest more clearly and increase the chances of attraction and intimacy. So let's open up this toolkit and see what's inside. We're going to break this down into 3 parts. First, we'll get into the unspoken language, what our bodies are saying. Then we'll talk about setting the perfect scene. And finally, we'll cover how to forge a true connection with words and, of course, a little bit of laughter.
Okay, let's dive into our first section, the unspoken language. You know, long before we say a single word, our bodies are already in a full-on conversation. The way we stand, the look on our face, and especially where we look, all of these nonverbal cues are incredibly powerful. They really do set the stage for everything that comes next. So our very first secret is all about the eyes. We usually think of eye contact as just being polite or showing that we're confident, but in romance, it's so much more than that. A Harvard psychologist named Zick Rubin was really curious about this, so he set up a simple but brilliant study. He just watched couples talk to each other, and he measured one thing: how much time they spent looking into each other's eyes. And what he found was pretty amazing. Just look at these numbers. What Rubin discovered was that most couples, people who weren't describing themselves as in love, made eye contact about 30 to 60% of the time. But the couples who said they were deeply in love, wow, they were looking into each other's eyes 75% of the time. That's not just a small jump. It's a huge signal that something much deeper is going on. So that 75% number is the real key here. It's more than just a statistic. When you consciously hold eye contact for that long, you're basically copying the behavior of someone who's already head over heels. It sends a powerful, primal message to the other person's brain that says, "I'm completely focused on you." And their brain picks up on that signal and might just start feeling the same way back. And here's the cool science behind it. That intense eye contact can actually make the brain release a chemical called phenylethylamine, or PEA for short. It's nicknamed the love drug because it's what floods our brain when we first start falling for someone, giving us that giddy, excited feeling. And here's a fun fact. It's also found in chocolate, which might just be why chocolate and romance go so well together. All right, our next secret is so simple, but we sometimes forget it. Just smile. A real, genuine smile is one of the most powerful tools we have. It signals warmth, happiness, and openness, and all of those things are incredibly attractive to a potential partner. It just makes you seem more approachable and kind. And this isn't just a nice idea, there's research to prove it. A study found that when women smiled about 70% of the time during a conversation, they were seen as way more attractive on a personal level. The takeaway's pretty straightforward. Let your happiness show. A warm smile really does make a huge difference. Okay, so we've got the body language down. Now, for our second section, let's talk about the world around you. The place you're in can be just as important as the words you say. We're going to look at how setting the perfect scene, from the lights to a little physical connection, can totally change the romantic vibe. Our next secret is all about picking the right spot. I mean, think about the classic romantic date. It's always a candlelit dinner, right? Well, there's actually a biological reason why that works. Choosing a place with soft, dim lighting can have a huge subconscious effect on how attractive we seem. Let's look at why. So a study in Scientific American did this really clever experiment. Men were shown 2 pictures of the same woman. The pictures were exactly the same except for one tiny detail they changed on the computer: the size of her pupils. The men had no idea what was different, but their reactions were night and day. The woman with smaller pupils, they described her as cold, hard, and selfish. But the exact same woman with larger pupils, they called her soft, feminine, and pretty.
Dim lighting makes our pupils get bigger naturally, so it's a simple little trick to subconsciously make yourself seem more appealing.
Next up, let's talk about the power of touch. Now, this one is really important to get right. We are absolutely talking about light, casual, and appropriate touch. Think a brief touch on the arm when you're laughing at a joke. It's a tiny gesture, but it can create a little spark of connection that words just can't. And believe it or not, the effect is surprisingly big. Researchers have looked at this in all kinds of situations. In one study, waitresses who lightly touched a customer's shoulder when giving them their change got much bigger tips. In another, men who gently touched a woman's arm for just a second while asking for her number were way more successful. It's a simple, nonverbal way to say, "Hey, I feel a connection with you."
So we've set the scene and we've mastered our unspoken cues. Now we get to what's maybe the most important part of the whole puzzle, forging a real connection. This is about moving beyond the surface level and building a genuine bond using words and, of course, laughter.
We've all been there, right? Making small talk about the weather or our jobs, and that's fine, but it doesn't really build love. Our fifth secret is to gently guide the conversation to something deeper. That means being brave enough to share your own real thoughts and feelings, which makes the other person feel safe enough to do the same. And the science on this is just incredible. Researchers at Harvard found that when we talk about ourselves in a real, meaningful way, our brains light up. And get this, it's the exact same part of the brain that gets excited when we eat amazing food or even have sex. So when you open up to someone, you are literally giving their brain a little reward, which makes them connect those good feelings with you. And our final secret is one we all kind of know deep down: humor. A good sense of humor is almost always at the top of the list of what people find attractive. When you share a laugh with someone, you're building a connection, you're easing any tension, and you're creating a happy memory together. It's a powerful way to show that you'd be fun to be around. Okay, let's do a quick recap of our 6 secrets. First, make eye contact, aiming for that 75% sweet spot. Second, pick a place with dim lighting to let your pupils do the talking. Third, smile often. It's a universal sign of warmth. Fourth, use a light, casual touch to create a spark. Fifth, have those meaningful discussions that go beyond small talk. And sixth, share your sense of humor. Remember, these aren't tricks to manipulate anyone. They're just ways to better communicate your genuine interest and build a real connection. So as we wrap up, just take a second to think, which of these secrets really speaks to you? Maybe you're naturally great at eye contact, or maybe your strength is in having those deep, meaningful conversations. It's pretty fascinating to think about how these small, simple actions can have such a big impact on our relationships.